It's week 5 of the NFL season, and it's a week 5 edition of Cowboys Rewind from the Star in Frisco. I'm your host, Kyle Youmans, as we not only take a look back at the Cowboys' 38-3 win over the New England Patriots, but now we look ahead to their toughest matchup of the season so far with the San Francisco 49ers, the team that has knocked them out of the playoffs each of the last 2 years. And it was kind of the same feeling after the game at AT&T Stadium on Sunday. The media asking Dak Prescott, hey, what about this matchup makes you motivated going into this season? How much do you pull from some of those previous games against the 49ers? And he was not happy about not only the question, but he was not happy about thinking of those 49ers. And here's what he had to say later in the week about that same issue, but now as they turn the page to take on San Fran.
Sunday night you said that we asked about the bitterness of the loss. You said it was a motivation factor every day. Can you just talk about how personal this is for you?
Yeah, I mean, losing to the same team twice in the playoffs is no good feeling. So, I mean, yeah, it's no good feeling. So, I mean, a little bit, I don't want to say I was joking, but, I mean, you know what I'm saying? After the game, we're celebrating the win, and that gets brought up. And so it's like, damn, thanks for reminding me. But, yeah, I mean, now the page is turned, and we're focusing on these guys, and they've got all of our attention. All of our respect, but at the end of the day, we know we're confident as hell in who we are and what we've got and what we can bring to the table and where this team is and where this team has grown in the past couple of years. So excited as hell for the matchup.
Dak Prescott laser focused going up against this 49ers team that currently is one of the top 2 offenses, but they present a defensive front that has to be reckoned with. Hopefully the Cowboys might have their offensive line healthy. We'll talk about that a little bit later on in the show as well. But when we come back, we hear from Cowboys Break about that matchup against the Patriots and just how the Cowboys had success in week 4 and how they can take that the rest of the season in 2023.
Cowboys Rewind is brought to you by AT&T, official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys, and by SWBC Mortgage. Join the more than 120,000 customers that we've helped to find their happier way home. Visit swbcmortgage.com to find a pro today. This segment is brought to you by Ashley, the official furniture store of the Dallas Cowboys.
The Cowboys did not show their true selves on defense in that Week 3 loss against the Arizona Cardinals. They fell, giving up 28 points, where the rest of the season they've only given up 17 points along the way. However, they did rebound in the way that they would anticipate to underneath Dan Quinn as the defensive coordinator. Patrick "No-See" Walker talked about that possibility of this defense really putting a chip on their shoulder and executing against the Patriots in their Week 4 win.
Let's talk about the defense specifically. As I mentioned a little earlier, they allowed 253 yards, 200 passing, 53 on the ground, going to Patrick's first point about the fact that they stopped the run this week and how effective they are when they can do that. The other thing to note there was they had 7 quarterback hits and 2 sacks. 18 quarterback pressures. They didn't get the number of sacks that they've been getting when they've been successful, but the pressures were definitely there, and you could certainly feel that in the 18 times that they pressured Mac Jones. How would you guys assess that defense overall yesterday?
I thought it looked fantastic, and it's a perfect example of why, although sacks matter, why it's mind-boggling that people kind of disregard disruptions and QB pressures and QB hits, because all of those things go to the overall category of disruptions, and the Cowboys were insanely disruptive on yesterday. No, they didn't walk away with 5, 6, or 7 sacks, but they did force Mac Jones into a passer rating of 39.9, ultimately got him pulled from the game for Bailey Zappi. They forced him into 2 interceptions, which also goes to Deron Bland quickly coming into his own as a boundary corner, and now I think that's also helping the Cowboys as a defensive unit try to find their identity in the post-Diggs era for this season until Diggs comes back in 24. So when you, like we talked about, when you earn that pass rush by stopping the run, and that stopping the run was made effective because the front four was winning their matchups, and that allowed guys like Leighton Vander Esch, who was reading, reacting, and executing, filling gaps. He was magnificent. Damone Clark helped in that capacity as well. Now you're forcing the guy to throw. And when you force the guy to throw against a Cowboys defense that loves to take the ball away in the air as much as they love to take it away on the ground, it's a recipe for disaster for you. And that's what happened with the Patriots yesterday. So I think it was masterclass by the Cowboys. Dan Quinn had those boys ready to play some football.
Patrick Nosey Walker talking about just how Dan Quinn and that defense took it personally, giving up 28 points to the Arizona Cardinals, and they rebounded with only the 3 allowed against the Patriots. The Cowboys defense has only allowed 1 second-half score all year long. It was 7 points in the fourth quarter against Arizona. They have not allowed a single point in the third and only the 1 touchdown in the fourth quarter all year long. So if you're the 49ers, you might want to try and get things going in that first half against the Dallas defense if you hope to have a little bit of success. But when we come back, we talk about, well, one of the things the 49ers have done well throughout their years, using a fullback like Kyle Juszczyk. Can the Cowboys use a guy like Hunter Lipke to add an element to this offense and fix some of those red zone problems?
This segment was brought to you by Ashley, the official furniture store of the Dallas Cowboys.
Welcome back into Cowboys Rewind from the Star in Frisco. Kyle Youmans back with you. And the Cowboys getting set for that Week 5 matchup against the San Francisco 49ers, a matchup where they'll like to see an uptick in their red zone efficiency. The Cowboys have struggled inside the 20 this season, but hey, Nick Harris has an idea of how to keep those red zone issues now in the past, and it might include one specific player. It's a fullback for the Cowboys. Take a listen.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was something actually I wrote about last night. Was Arizona was the exception, not the first 2 weeks, because they came back in week 4 and they almost immediately replicated what they did in the first 2 weeks. The defense got after it early. Defensive touchdown. Special teams was helping out. How about Chauncey Golston catching a 2-point conversion? And then the offense, it was effective getting down the field. And I'm sure we'll still talk about red zone this week, and, that'll be a point. But, when the defense is performing like this, it's tough to find anybody in the league that can beat them. And I mean that. I really don't think that anybody in this league can beat them when the defense is playing like they were last night, like they were against the Jets, like they were against the Giants. It's just too much to overcome.
Do you want to talk about Hunter Lipke too?
Do it now.
Since you brought it up.
One moment. I knew there was an undershirt.
No way.
No way.
Here we go. One moment here.
Oh, this is happening.
We're having a wardrobe change. Hold on. I made
Almost got
this
it.
morning.
This is
Coming to the stage.
Fullback for life.
Wow. I love this.
There's our man right there.
Whoa.
There's our man.
Made it this morning. Fresh off the rack.
Fresh off the rack. It'll be $80 on nickharris.com later.
I like it.
And now we have the official captain of the Hunter Lipke fan train rolling into studio here at Cowboys Rewind. Nick Harris joins us from Talking Cowboys. You talked about it a little bit there. The fullback position is so unique in the NFL here in 2023. The 49ers have utilized a guy like Kyle Juszczyk. How can Hunter Lipke continue to see his role grow?
Yeah, we've seen Kyle Juszczyk and Patrick Ricard, a couple of really talented fullbacks here in the NFL. And then Mike McCarthy throughout his career with guys like John Kuhn, getting him active in the offense. We're starting to see it with Hunter Lipke, whether it be in the short yardage run game. We saw it in the game against the Patriots where he was able to barrel in for the touchdown, but also get him active in the receiving game, get him active in the pass protection game. There's a lot of different things that you can do with a versatile weapon like that has that rare combination of strength and athleticism. It's rare because of the type of strength he has. It's not quite a tight end, but he has that athleticism to get downhill and also the strength to be able to block downhill as well.
And they're going to need every bit of weaponry inside the 20-yard line because this is show number 5 for Cowboys Rewind. It's probably the 5th time we've talked about red zone concerns. I mean, have you seen a turn of the tail in terms of the red zone and what they're able to utilize down there? And is it a problem moving into a matchup like this against San Francisco?
Yeah, it feels like they almost took a step forward in the red zone concerns against the Patriots, but then took like 0.75 of a step back. There was a little bit of progress that was made, and Dak Prescott talked a little bit about it post-game against New England, but also addressed that it's still something that they need to work on, and it's something that's going to only increase in emphasis going against San Francisco this weekend, against that really talented defense, that really talented front seven. being able to punch it in the red zone is going to be a huge emphasis. Only 6 touchdowns on 19 red zone trips. They got to up that efficiency.
Who else do you want to see get involved in the red zone?
Yeah, I would love to see CeeDee Lamb. I think he's the best red zone weapon on this team. I would love to see him get more targets in the red zone. And then you also got speed option guys like Brandon Cooks. We've seen Kevontae Turpin take some opportunities, not only in the receiving game, but out of the backfield. And then Jake Ferguson leads the NFL in red zone targets. You would think, okay, he leads the NFL in red zone targets. Red zone hasn't really worked out, but I want to see him continue to get more targets. I think they have something there. Just with his strength and being able to go up and grab a ball, I think you got a lot of talent there. I want to continue to utilize that if I'm Mike McCarthy.
And there's times whenever Cowboys Nation will look at this red zone inefficiency and they'll point to the play calling, and certainly that hasn't been perfect down there either, but it's also execution at the same time. Tony Pollard running into the back of Dak Prescott, not knowing which side to take the handoff, couple drops from the tight ends, Luke Schoonmaker, Peyton Hendershot in the end zone. You add all those together, and for the most part, that's going to lead to success in the red zone. Nick Harris, you can catch him on Talking Cowboys Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. When we come back, we hear from Nick Eatman and how the Cowboys can take advantage of their opportunities. As the Cowboys take a look at that San Francisco 49ers film from not only last year's divisional round, but the year before that in the wild card round, they'll take a look at opportunities that Dallas had but didn't take full advantage of. That's what Nick Eatman wants to focus on in his Cowboys storyline this week. Speaking on if the Cowboys are given opportunities, you better take advantage of it.
Morning, Nick. How you doing?
Good, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. You know, I've like everybody else, I'm kind of on pins and needles about this game that's coming up. But you know, I think that the key to success for the Cowboys is time of possession. We're not going to shut down Christian McCaffrey, but if we can hold him to under 100 yards and put the ball in and get ahead of him and put the ball in Purdy's hands, I think our defense can come through. I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be 3 points one way or the other, but it's going to be a barn burner, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's what they have been. That's what these games have been. I think they're equal. Good call, Bob. Thank you. And time of possession, you know, usually it does affect, you know, it matters. I have to go back and look. I think the Cowboys own the time of possession against Arizona, you know, pretty well, but didn't win the game. So sometimes if teams are scoring quickly or have, you know, interceptions for touchdowns or, you know, turnovers and things like that, short fields, then that can kind of skew the time of possession. But, you know, last year McCaffrey had, I think it was like 40 yards rushing, something like that, you know, and he didn't, you know, the Cowboys did a nice job against the run. You know, that was one of those games where they didn't score when they were down there. The Cowboys, they had some opportunities. They turned the ball over. They gave the 49ers a short field on a turnover. So, you know, I thought last year the Cowboys were better. I really do. I think they were a better team. Watching that game and how the flow of it went, I thought the Cowboys were the better team. Very close, but I thought it was a very winnable game. I thought the way the defense was playing, but the Cowboys gave them some gifts. They did. And then they didn't take advantage of the gifts that they got. I say this all the time. It was around Christmas time. I say it all the time. If somebody gives you a present, open the damn thing. Open it. Okay? Don't give it back. Don't re-gift it. Don't let it sit under the tree. Open the damn gift. They gave it to you. Take it.
I love the call overall. I mean, one, that's what the show was made for, is having energetic callers, bringing them to attention, and then Nick Eatman does a great job of really elevating and elaborating on those phone calls. And that one specifically, you got pretty animated. You have to take advantage of those opportunities.
Yeah, you definitely, like I said, you open the gift. Maybe I cussed a little bit, sorry, but you know, and you know, sticking with the theme, we're not worried about the past. Let's worry about the present. And when the 49ers do, when they turn the ball over, it's only happened once. But it doesn't even have to be a turnover. When they make a mistake, something that the Cowboys need to capitalize on, they got to make sure they take advantage. If you go back to last year's game, they had a fumble down there. Kelvin Joseph forced a fumble down there on special teams. They didn't score. Imagine that. Red zone issues. It led to a field goal. But when you get down there, you're going to have some plays that go their way. Cowboys have to make sure and take advantage.
This is a team that's been so good at taking the football away. I mean, they've done it all year long. They did it all last year. The last 2 years, they've led the league in takeaways. Where do they have to start if they are going to force some of those mistakes from San Francisco?
Well, I think it starts with pass rush. I mean, that's where it starts because that's when you make teams uncomfortable. Yes, Brock Purdy hasn't lost a game. I get it. He's 9-0 as they're in the regular season. But still, he's a quarterback like anyone else. I've seen them make Tom Brady uncomfortable last year, and he was playing for 57 years. And so you have to make sure that you get him uncomfortable. It starts with the pass rush. When that happens, that's where, mistakes tend to happen, and that's where the Cowboys need to get it and then capitalize.
Who needs to have their best?
Micah Parsons.
Oh, okay, there you
Micah
go.
Parsons.
Yeah, there you go. Who needs to have their best game of the year? Is it Micah or is it somebody else on that defense?
Well, I say that. It's always got to be Micah Parsons. And when it starts with him, then the others kind of feed off of that. But I like those guys in the middle, man. Hankins, Osa, Gallimore, Mozzie, those guys right there, they have to shore that up. You can't let the 49ers get 7 yards a clip on first down. That's what McCaffrey was doing, screens, all that. But if you shore up that middle, that'll help the outside guys, including Micah Parsons, go and eat.
With so many weapons on the outside, guys like Deebo Samuel, you mentioned McCaffrey, Brandon Ayuk, who I think is probably the most underrated receiver in the NFL at this point. Is this the toughest matchup that Dallas may face all year long, based off of the weaponry that they have?
Yes, 100%. And that's where I think the Cowboys went into this offseason trying to match that. They've been beaten by the 49ers 2 years in a row, including last year's game where they just got out-weaponed, like you said, especially when Pollard went down. They have so many weapons to throw at you. The Cowboys, I think, went on their side of the ball and got those weapons. But, with Diggs out, Deron Bland's got to step up. I just think that they're tough to cover, but it starts with McCaffrey.
Yeah, it definitely does. And there's ways that you can maybe keep them in between the tackles and try and just shorten the field is really the best case scenario with him because he's going to get his opportunities and he's going to continue to take advantage. Cowboys defense looking to take advantage of those opportunities and stay in the present. Right?
Open your gift.
Open
your gift. If it's there,
presents.
you don't re-gift it. Don't throw it. Open the damn
Open it up. He's Nick Eatman. You can catch him on Cowboys Storyline every Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. When we come back, we're going to introduce you to the newest member of DallasCowboys.com and the future host of Cowboys Rewind. We introduce Nicole Hutchinson when we come back right after this. Wrapping up a Week 5 edition of Cowboys Rewind from the Star in Frisco. Kyle Youmans back with you. Final time I'll be hosting this for the near future because we have a brand new host of Cowboys Rewind, the newest member of DallasCowboys.com media, Nicole Hutchinson, joining us for the first time. Nicole, welcome to the squad.
Thank you so much, Kyle. Listen, this has been a great first couple of days. So really my third day, right? It's been exciting. I'm so excited to join you guys. Such a great team.
We're excited to have you. So where did you come from initially, and what brought you back to the Dallas Cowboys? You're from Houston originally, right?
From Houston, Texas. I went to school at Howard University, and then I made my first stop in Alexandria, Louisiana. Then I, of course, went to Lexington, Kentucky, cover University of Kentucky. Go Cats. I know Patrick with no C is going to really hate me for that one. But no, go Cats. And so now I'm here. I wanted to be closer to home, and there was nothing but a great opportunity. Haley's a really great friend of mine. And so she put me on, and she's like, hey, go out there and kill it. So.
There you go. Yeah, it feels like it was just a couple days ago that I was introducing Haley Sutton as the host of this show, and Haley moving on and taking the job with CBS Sports. We're certainly happy for her, but it does open an opportunity for you to come in and talk some ball. Now, you grew up in a football family, right? I mean, what was the connection with the Cowboys like?
Well, my mom, she's a diehard Cowboys fan. Actually, her whole side of the family are Cowboys fans. Her keychains, I was just telling you, her keychain is Cowboys, her floor mat's Cowboys, anything, she loves Cowboys. I did not follow that train, but I know I'm going to follow it now. I know I'm going to follow that train now, so I'm excited.
You can't admit that, though. You got to say, hey, Cowboys for life.
Cowboys for life.
There it is. Yeah, see, now she said it, so she's done now. Okay, so with this being said, I mean, what have you seen just from what a first week to get into the building. I mean, this is an intense week going up against the 49ers. Yep. What are your expectations for Sunday?
I'm going to say it. I expect a win. And I'm only saying that because just based off the confidence that I've seen in the locker room so far, especially I know they're tired of hearing, hey, you guys lost the past 2 meetings against this team. But talking with Dak and hearing him talk, he's like, listen, we're ready to just go out there and prove ourselves. And I really believe they're going to do that.
And where do you think the X factor matchup is going to be in this game? I mean, who do you feel like has to have their best performance in order to pull out that win?
I'm not going to lie. I think that running back room's going to have a great performance, and that wide receiver core. I mean, we haven't seen a lot from Brandon Cooks, only 66 yards on 8 targets this season, but this is why they went out to go get a guy like that. We got to see a lot of production from him and CeeDee Lamb, and hopefully we get that.
There you go. You've got Nicole saying Brandon Cooks is in for a big game. Finally, hey, she shows up, Brandon Cooks shows out. Maybe she's a good luck charm. That's what happens here on Cowboys Rewind. Nicole, welcome to the team. I'm sure Cowboys Nation is excited to watch you host this show from here on out. She'll be on here next week, of course, same time as we work into Week 6, hopefully with the Cowboys at 4-1. That does it for us today. For Nicole, I'm Kyle Youmans saying so long for Cowboys Rewind. She'll see you next week.
Cowboys Rewind was brought to you by AT&T, official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys, and by SWBC Mortgage. Join the more than 120,000 customers that we've helped to find their happier way home. Visit SWBCmortgage.com to find a pro today.